Is Instagram the Instagram that we know the same as it used to be? Let's figure out.
Everyone's on Instagram. People are posting fit pic. The creative community is flourishing. There is zero judgment. IG models are popping off. Artists are rolling out their albums. LeBron's dropping goofy pics with the family every day. And you actually get to see the people you follow on your feed.
Boy, oh boy, man. These times when Instagram was new and, young me is figuring out who I am. Facebook has ended. I don't feel like I need to share endless ideas on my Facebook page. It's just a picture and a caption, and that's who I am for the day on Instagram. And I didn't have to worry about who viewed it. I didn't have to worry about, more or less, you had to worry about the likes for everything, but it wasn't like a circus show that you had to put on your feed, which was very, honestly, refreshing. And it was also exhilarating because we were enjoying it through the lens of the other person.
So let's really dive into what made Instagram so special and the shit they did to make it fall off over the years. I pose one question to you guys today. What happened to the Instagram I love? Number one, somewhere along the line, we lost our touch with real, unpolished content, going on Instagram and just posting what you do during the day, not even caring about the details of curating a feed and curating photo dump.
Yeah, now doing that, like actually legitimately curating like your feed to look like a bigger picture, and that is so annoying. It's like one of the most annoying things. Like you can definitely look at my Instagram and tell I have ADHD. Like you can just tell like I got HD, I got HDMI, PS5, I got it all. But we didn't worry about those things. A lot of people were posting because, mind you, like the iPhone was still relatively early at this time, so we had some real dusty camera phones around this time that people were still posting. So there was definitely like a rawness that was still to it. Even just like I cringed thinking about my early Instagram and like how I was posting.
And figuring out what you're gonna post. If you're going on a trip, you gotta get fit pics in certain areas, maybe make a reel out of it, and all of this nonsense that you kind of lost touch with what it was meant to be, which was just get on Instagram and just post what you're doing during the day, what you think might be funny, or even like a meme. People.
Now where we did go wrong is I think some people just were doing like too much at this time, or they just were kind of like and there is a point where it's just kind of like you're looking at it and you're just like, like there is a moment where I think everybody has looked at someone's Instagram and collectively felt like, oh my God, put the phone down, dog.
They used to post memes on Instagram, not making a meme page. Like they would post actual memes on their own pages. But
which I think honestly is great when they did stories. I think this is one of the benefits of the current model of Instagram is when they did stories is you could save stuff like this for your stories, which are just like your general throwaway things that you might find funny and you want to post, and it doesn't have to clog up your feed and just kind of be random and that's something that's just like out of nowhere.
Now in 2026, you see everything almost feels curated, edited, color graded, AI touched, or content brained. Everyone's feed almost looks like an ad, even when it's not. Back then, people posted because they wanted to, not because they're trying to look cool or fit some type of brand image. You would get blurry photos, bad lighting.
We had bad camera phones.
Just random shit throughout the day that you just drop on the feed.
Yo, if this isn't, we have all seen this guy walk in the mall. Yo, this is the swag. He had the diet swag era where it's like he had the backwards, that is a truck fit. That is definitely a truck fit snapback with the Justin Bieber swoop and the Hollister tank top. Lord, baby, Jesus, 2015 Christ.
And just say F it, like let me have fun on here. And I kind of feel like Twitter has become more of that and Instagram has just become a mess. People feel pressure to even post now. A lot of times I won't even want to post shit because I'm like, do people even want to see this? I don't know what they're going to think, and all of this nonsense that like Instagram.
No, I think honestly you got to get over that a little bit, especially if you're trying to do something like me as a DJ. If I have to promote my business or my brand or my products or my services, like you got to post something and you got to kind of get over that. I mean, like, views or no views, at the end of the day, the key of everything is consistency. Now, granted, do we live in a day and age where I think people won't value what you're doing unless you have a cosign by somebody else? That's 100% true, but, just got to get over that. But do it in a curated way. You definitely have to take a little bit more time to think about what you're posting before you post it.
And inherently created in their own community over the years. I think it just became heavily curated. And let's be honest, a big part of this was a change they made to the Instagram feed. Back then, you would have actual friends and family members and people you knew on your Instagram feed when you scroll through your timeline. But now you go on Instagram, immediately there's at least 5 to 10 people you don't even know, 5 companies that are throwing ads in your face every time you log in the app. You scroll down your
booty
feed, you see reels, you see all types of nonsense. Actual content from friends and family will go straight to the bottom of your feed. And honestly, it becomes to the point where I don't even want to scroll my Instagram feed. Like, I don't find any satisfaction. I just see a bunch of nonsense at this point. And I know people will say, oh, you make your own algorithm. But in reality, that's not the case at all.
That is a lie. They weaponized that shit on your brain like a nuclear bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Instagram will just throw stuff in your face until eventually you slow down on some stuff, and then they'll just think you like that more. But none of these pages I'm following, you see more strangers than people you know when you're scrolling down Instagram. The feed was also in chronological order before, but they got rid of that order at first, and then it turned into whatever they want to throw in your face and whatever is doing well, I guess, in terms of the algorithm. And now
he's right about that. There was a time where I knew 7 p.m. on a Thursday or a Friday, you post a good fit pic, yeah, bro, you're crushing it with the likes. You're crushing it with the likes. 7 p.m. on a Thursday or Friday, or right in that intermediate time before people get home from work or they go out somewhere else, you post a little fire pic. Ooh, you're cooking them.
It's deteriorated even more, and it's gotten to the point where your feed is not even your feed. And I'm finding that a lot of the times I'm missing important moments of friends and family's career in their life.
Yeah, now it don't matter. You post, you're just gambling at this point. You just post whenever, and you're like, if they see it.
Whatever is going on, I'm missing these moments because Instagram wants to prioritize an ad that someone paid for or a company paid for, and they want to push that to the top of my page. So now I'm just missing out on everything. And it's gotten to the point where, like, what's the point of having the app if I'm not seeing moments from friends and families that I cherish? I know back in the day, people would give birthday shoutouts on Instagram. I feel like people don't even want to do that anymore because it just feels superficial. Everything feels artificial about the app, lacking the real connection at this point. And a lot of this is...
Yeah, man, but a lot of this ties back to how early and primitive social media was still at that point. Now we have thoroughly curated social media. I mean, and it only took a decade. We only really needed a good solid decade of this going on for it to be interwoven into society. And now it is definitely a part of society.
Due to the changes they made to the feed. And I'm sure you know, Instagram, of course, started off as a social app, and now it became an entertainment app somehow. Most of the time, you're really on Instagram just to share reels to your friends, and then you just log off the app. Other than that, I really don't see any reason to be even on the app. Back then, when I logged onto Instagram, it would be like, let me see what my people are up to. But right now, let me scroll till my dopamine levels run out, and my brain is fried enough to where I'm like, I need a break from this app.
This is true. Also, he's right about there being a reason to be on Instagram. I'm like wondering, I wonder if I didn't DJ and if I didn't do anything along those lines, would I actually care about being on Instagram? Like, would I really, if I didn't have something that I'm actively promoting, that, I'll be honest with you, I even slack on posting right now. Like, I really can't post just something. I have to post something of like decent, and like I just can't post nothing that doesn't have any sort of entertainment value, whether it be a clip of me doing something or something involving my work that will actually gain attention. Like, I do have to think about that, or I just don't post, so it definitely isn't like 2016 when I could just get a new pair of J's, put on a fit, get something that's the same color as the Jordans in my fit, maybe like a orange Crush bottle, and I got some orange J's on, and I'm posted up next to my Chevy Impala. You can't, that don't work no more. That's cringe, Unc. That's cringe.
He shifted from connection to people to consumption of brain rot. We got to talk about the content brain. Back then, Instagram did not rely on any post consistency. There was no content strategy. There was no personal brand. There was no analytics obsession.
Oh yeah, the analytics. You're looking at that thing, wondering if you're popping or not. And I mean, look what I'm doing right now. I'm doing reaction videos to add to the content machine about the content machine. But, that's just kind of where we're at. The reason I'm doing this content also is I'm just trying to have different conversations. I've been talking about DJing for so many years, where actually me doing these reactions on these great creators' videos gives me an opportunity just to talk about other stuff and sound like an actual human, So I really do actually enjoy that factor about it. But yes, this is a part of it. But if you're just in the middle of Cincinnati, you shouldn't have a business page where you're checking the analytics of your views. What's up, everybody? When I'm working long days, hauling gear, running events, and still need to stay sharp and don't want to mess with energy drinks, I grab HELO Energy Gummies. It's quick, easy, gives me clean energy and focus without jitters or crash. Perfect for long setups, late nights, and when I need a boost and still have to perform at a high level. If you're always on the move, need energy that keeps up, check out HELO Energy Gummies. Link in the description.
Where everyone's just in love with stats and numbers and looking at your likes and how many impressions your profile is getting. And just because one reel does well, now you're going to spam 10 more reels the next 10 days, and you have to keep going, because if you stop posting, then maybe the algorithm might not favor you anymore, or they might forget about you. All this pressure going on, and it pales in resemblance to what Instagram once was 10 years ago in 2016, where the top social media app for my generation, and I think even for the younger generation, they were definitely on Instagram before TikTok came. And now in 2026, people think of it in terms of engagement, reach, monetization. I've never heard the word niche used so much until 2026. Now everyone is looking for a niche to follow. Everyone's looking for a lane to get into where they can blow up and see some type of success in terms of impressions, or you don't even know if it's going to lead to any type of...
Again, you shouldn't be doing this if you're just like regular, average, everyday Joe. If your income is built in and you don't have anything that you have to promote actively, you do not need to be worrying about any of this. Just post your wedding pictures, post your dog, and keep it pushing, all right?
Money or opportunity, but you're just chasing this niche. Let's chase what we love. Let's really do what we're into, and Instagram should be a tool to share what we love. We shouldn't be chasing a niche to follow just to meet some type of analytical algorithm requirement. It's become a growth mentality. Instagram should not be an app that's built like a stock market. And for a lot of people, including me, especially being in the creative space, posting becomes a form of work instead of a way to show your love for...
Yeah, man, but now, you just got to keep showing up. It's a little bit of this piece I feel is made from fatigue, which I think we all have. But then there also has to be that side of us that just this is what it is. So we just got to keep pushing forward and make it happen.
Or something, or a way to show your passion towards something. It really becomes like a 9-to-5 work. It really loses the love, the passion that you have for certain things, and it drains it. Back in 2016, the mental space for sure felt healthier. There was way less comparison culture. People weren't shoving accolades down your face, and you weren't looking at extravagant trips and vacations.
Boy, them Indian cats can really put that Photoshop sauce on a picture. Look at my man in the back of the bus with the handcuffs on. You don't know drip like that, man. My man Pradeep holding it down.
And everyone wants to show the best version of themselves on the app, so naturally their best outfits, their best traveling vacation stories and everything. Back then, there was no comparison at all, because everyone was just posting and having fun with the app. There was no need to compare that even.
But also there should be this form that developed over time. I can see that this lady has a little Jaden in the corner, but there should be, over the time, social media etiquette. And I feel like the Zoom era of COVID is when the social media etiquette had to begin, where people, clean up your room before you take a picture of yourself. Maybe if you're going to take a bathroom selfie, flush the toilet that's behind you so we don't see a turd in the toilet. These things that you do have to think about, even if you're not doing this. Social media etiquette.
Everyone was just being themselves. But now it's gotten to a point where everyone wants to put their best foot forward for some reason on this app, and you lose that real connection to people when everyone is showing the best version of themselves. The whole point of social media is to show every side of yourself and feel a connection with people. In 2016, I definitely felt connected to a lot more people on Instagram than I do now. And there was way less artificial perfectionism that you see now, where everyone just wants to be completely perfect on the app. And of course, that
My man, my man says this why he is on a moving old school Instagram app head where each motion is showing a new. You put a lot of sauce in this, man. So it's like, I don't think you're too far off. I think you're kind of above the curve than a lot of people, man. Shouts out, because this is a good video.
leads to a lot of pressure to perform on the app. You won't even want to post a picture because you might think, oh, this is not good enough for Instagram. It's not Instagram worthy. Like, maybe this should only be close friends. The close friends feature, honestly, it caused more issues to the app than it helped it, because now people don't even want to use the main version of Instagram because they just want to go on close friends.
Well, because close friends is where you can post like dark shit about you. And like, obviously, there's a group of your friends that know you in a way that most people don't need to know you, honestly. Like, let's just keep it like that. There's some people that understand your personal sense of humor that might not be taken so lightly, and especially the climate that we're in. So if you plan on posting something like that, those friends, like, that's a good thing to separate both of those.
Post whatever they need to on there. Within your own profile, you have a separate profile, which makes no sense at all. And I don't really understand the point of having a close friends when really it just makes a weird disconnection between you and your followers, even to a further extent than it already was. You know, I have to say the TikTokification of Instagram is definitely a big reason why it is not the way it was in 2016 anymore. Instagram used to be a photo first app, and people wouldn't even post videos at all on Instagram originally. But now it's become all about reels, chasing trends, the new sounds, fast dopamine loops, copy and pasting different content styles and niches, trying to fit into a subgenre of reels.
Yeah, I mean, this was just going to happen. Social media developed, social media kept on moving. They had a competitor in TikTok come about, so they had to do what they had to do to keep up with that, and that was just going to happen with the times. Now, granted, is it again, like, the word I use is weaponized, because it's the most potent form of this that is going to happen when big money and greed come into the picture. That's just like a natural progression of that.
Thing is optimized for watch time. Like, you're trying to capture someone's attention within the first 5 to 7 seconds, which I think is the worst way to run an algorithm, because no video should be dependent upon the first 5 to 7 seconds. And I think it just puts so much pressure on creators to completely ignore the actual piece of content they're making, and eventually it turns into a level of brain rot where they're forced to hook you in within the first 5 to 7 seconds just so they can get their impressions up.
That's something that I do have to think about. If I'm posting anything, I'm like, what's the visual hook that'll keep people watching this video? Because my shit when I post on Instagram is just like a slant down, because like, they know what I'm going to be doing, then I'm going to be DJing. Also, some people don't want to see me win. You know, that's just how it is. Some people who you know in your past will see your videos, because mine is a hybrid. Mine isn't a new Instagram from scratch. Mine is an Instagram. I've had my Instagram for when it was this app under that. So my Instagram developed into the business page. So it's a mix of people from high school, people from the army, and then people who actually find my business. And a lot of people from the first two halves are haters, and they don't want to see me win.
So the algorithm can actually show them any type of love. In 2016, Instagram felt like a personal scrapbook almost, but now it feels almost like a public billboard. There is no personal connection to your profile. And by that, I mean, you know how a personal scrapbook would be something you make at home, and you really feel an emotional connection through a scrapbook because you see the flaws. There is not much perfectionism, and you see the personality behind images when you do a scrapbook. And that's what Instagram felt like back then, as opposed to now. Instagram just feels like a public
weirdo gram. This is actually an accurate depiction of what Instagram looks like to me right now.
And an ad for yourself, where everyone is almost like an artist trying to roll out an album when we're just regular people. Like, not all of us needs to be a brand, not all of us needs to have a niche, and just that's where you lose that personal connection in that.
I agree with him on that one. I feel like everyone's seeing these if they all feel like that they have to post in this certain way. Again, the development of social media. However, not everybody needs to post like that. You're just in Nebraska. You're not a business. You're just a RN.
Personal scrapbook feel that Instagram had in 2016. Back in the day, Instagram was not an ad-ridden app, but now, of course, you get on the app and all you see is someone trying to sell you something. You got drop shipping pages every other scroll, clothing brands. You got people that are trying to turn into brands. Everyone is trying to sell you something as soon as you get in the app. Either they're trying to sell you themselves by marketing themselves to be some type of person they're not. They're showing their artificial version of themselves. And I think that is, in a way, marketing themselves. And all of this is just nonsense. And I think that's where the heart of Instagram really got lost, is when businesses, corporations, companies.
Yeah, man, but that was going to happen regardless. There is never going to be anything, even if you start an app, if I start an app, if a lot of people start using it, big money is going to just come in there and they're going to offer you a number that you've never seen before and you've only heard in movies, and it's almost comical when they say that many amounts of dollars to you. And you're not going to say no. You're going to say yes. They're going to buy up everything. They're going to send in their corporate team and just, they're going to make you sell meta glasses in a few years. So buckle up.
These pages that are made to repost things, hidden agencies that are fueling these pages, paying them behind the scenes so they can post their content. Everything has just muddied the waters, and everyone has a hidden agenda on the app, trying to get you to buy something, even if it's not in terms of buying something money-wise. They're trying to get you to buy into their brand, buy into their lifestyle, or even buy into their identity. Getting a little bit deeper into that, everyone has an identity now on the app. They have an aesthetic, they have a niche, they have a brand. Everyone has an online self versus their real self. The line used to be almost connected before, but now the online version of you could be completely different.
I'd say that's true. A lot of people who've met me in person and were surprised just how like laid back I am. Like, I have to put out a certain like vibe as a DJ, like, which I do have my time where I'm fun, but then I just like have my Brandon time, which I as a millennial have been put in a position where I can separate both. I've seen pre-technology and post-technology back in my day. So that's where I kind of have this experience where I can look at it on both sides. Not a lot of these iPad kids, as I like to call them, were able to do that because they were born directly into technology and have to kind of adjust as such. So what he's talking about, because he might be my age, so he's talking about it through the scope of a millennial's eye, and you're not thinking about the scope of the generation afterwards who literally got put the iPad. They came out the womb and the doctor was like, here's your iPad, and then handed the kid to the baby. And then they were playing Candy Crush for hours.
Of how you are in real life, especially on Instagram, where you're showing yourself to thousands of people, and for some reason you feel pressure to show this version of yourself that's not even real. I don't agree with that at all, and I feel like it's almost lost the heart and soul. And I feel like if you are passionate about something, forcing yourself to be in a niche just to satisfy the algorithm's needs, I don't think that's the right way to go about it at all. And I feel like what made Instagram so special in 2016 was you were showing your real self. And the line was blurred between your real self and your online self. They were almost connected. People that knew me on Instagram, they could see my personality on my page, and they didn't feel like when they...
I definitely was posting wild. I definitely was posting wild. I was a wild boy, yo. Like, I'm glad we're not like this. We should have social media etiquette.
Met me in real life, I was super different. Seeing so many other people just fake it and fall into their niches and force themselves to create content. I feel like some people don't even want to do content, but they feel like they're being forced to do it. I just think 2016 was peak Instagram. In the past decade, I think with every update, Instagram got a little bit worse. It caused all of these issues that I just said. All of this to say, if you related to or connected with anything I said in this video, I think you should quit Instagram and subscribe to my YouTube. But no, I'm just kidding. Me personally, I've moved over to Twitter. I kind of like TikTok, but sometimes I don't really like TikTok because it has the similar values of brain rotting in the 5 to 7 seconds of hooking you into the content. I am on Instagram as well, but I'm really having a hard time struggling with what I should do on there. Really, outside of sending reels to friends.
You know what? Hey, shout shouts out to this guy. I'll make sure that I have a link to this in the description. Honestly, my biggest thing for him is you just kind of got to play the game, brother. There's really no other way to like look at it, like positive or negative. Like you got to adjust with the times and do it in a way that's true to you. Yes, are you seeing people who are acting? You're watching Drewski's show and you're like, dang, it's me up against this. And yeah, man, there's going to be a market for, the lowest common denominator. I watch it myself. But just staying true to yourself and what you're actually trying to do and what your vision is as an artist, that's going to be the thing that's going to push you, and people are going to resonate with that. If you can just get at least, like, imagine it like this. If you can get 500 people to resonate with what you're doing and they watch you consistently, that will feed you year in and year out. And everything that you do, they get. If you can get a guaranteed, those 500 people spend at least $40 with you. So you got to a lot of this, what I watch is true. A lot of the other part of it is like, you got to change your mindset about where everything is going and make stuff, because the cream will always rise to the top, no matter what. The cream will always rise to the top. And then also make sure everyone is practicing social media etiquette. It's the big 26. You gotta practice it. You have no choice. Let me know if this video was a up or a down. I hope you all enjoy it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about it, and we'll see you soon. Peace.